Now on Watching Washington, at least a dozen House Republicans are considering signing onto Rep. Don Bacon's bill to restrict the White House's ability to impose tariffs.
Plus, Colossal Biosciences has genetically engineered the first dire wolf.
And following the IU professor's home who was raided last week is reported to be safe and well, though his whereabouts are still unknown. From the Brian Lamb School of Communication, this is Watching Washington. I'm Jaden Voss.
And I'm Ryan Ward. Trump announced Wednesday that his tariff scheme would be put on pause for 90 days after dozens of countries came forward looking to make a deal. But for many imports, the influence can already be seen. The tariffs cover a broad range of goods. It has been estimated that Americans are expected to pay more for everyday items from produce and seafood to coffee and electronics. Experts say shoppers can expect to see prices rise on seafood, coffee, fruit, cheese, nuts, and candy bars. Items that contain ingredients and packaging like plastic and aluminum could also cost more. Consumer goods like toys, clothing, and fashion accessories are also affected. Big-ticket imports like cars face increased duties, and the earlier 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum remain in place. Even pharmaceuticals are included. Tariffs on Chinese goods in particular have surged to around 125% on average, with the fentanyl tariff bringing some totals to 145%. Beijing swiftly retaliated on Thursday. China hiked its tariffs on American exports from 85% to 125%. Chinese leader Xi Jinping has made his first public comments on the escalating trade war, saying in a statement on Friday that his nation is not afraid. Despite growing global tensions, Trump continues to defend the policy.
Somebody had to do it. Roger actually said it. Charles Schwab was here a little while ago, one of the great financial people, and he said he's been waiting for 40 years for somebody to do what I did over the last month. And if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have a country. It wouldn't be sustainable. So I'm honored to have done it. I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate, because I told them if you retaliate, we're going to double it. And that's what I did with China, because they did retaliate. So we'll see how it all works out. I think it's going to work out amazing. I think that our country is going to be at the end of a year or shorter, but I think we're going to have something that nobody would have dreamt possible.
Trump's administration says the baseline rate for most foreign imports will stay at just 10% for now, but China remains the exception. Economists warned that even with the pause, prices at the grocery store could rise in the coming months. Financial markets have reacted with volatility as concerns grow over potential global economic slowdown. The Trump administration says it is open to negotiating new trade deals during a 90-day pause for most partners. But for now, the tariffs are in full effect and the economic stakes are climbing.
As President Trump imposes tariffs on the world, Republicans are beginning to push back. A bipartisan bill introduced by Senator Charles Grassley and Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell would require the White House to justify tariffs and give Congress the power to reject them within 60 days. This bill seeks to reclaim the authority over tariffs, which has been granted to the executive branch over the years. Representative Don Bacon also introduced a similar bill in the House, saying, "It's time that the Congress restores its authorities here." Although the bill faces a long odds of passage, it signals a shift in congressional sentiment as lawmakers question the legality of Trump's unilateral tariff decisions.
The IRS has reached a deal with Homeland Security officials to share sensitive taxpayer data with federal immigration authorities. As part of the deal, the IRS will turn over information on undocumented immigrants, people that Homeland Security says are already facing deportation orders and being investigated for federal crimes. The deal is part of Trump's broader crackdown on illegal immigration. Later Tuesday, the acting IRS commissioner announced her resignation. 2 current employees and 1 former say Melanie Krause accepted the agency's offer of deferred resignation. Colossal Biosciences, a Texas-based biotech company, recently announced a breakthrough in their de-extinction agenda, bringing back the dire wolf. Using ancient DNA from thousands-of-year-old fossils, their team of scientists reconstructed key parts of the dire wolf genome, identifying 14 genes with 20 unique modifications that control phenotypical traits of dire wolves. They then edited these genes into modern gray wolf blood cells using CRISPR, a gene editing technology, then cloning the modified cells via somatic cell nuclear transfer into a domesticated dog surrogate. The result? On October 1st, 2024, 2 male pups, Romulus and Remus, were born, followed by a female, Khaleesi, on January 30th, 2025. Although experts argue these animals are more accurately described as modified gray wolves rather than true dire wolves, the breakthrough marks a significant step in Colossal's goal for restoring extinct species and their ecological roles.
Florida Gators secured their third NCAA men's basketball championship with a 65-63 victory over the Houston Cougars on Monday night. The Gators overcame a 12-point deficit in the second half. Houston, still seeking their first national title, received a strong performance from L.J. Cryer, who scored 26 points. However, turnovers in the final minutes, including a crucial mistake with less than a minute remaining, cost them the game. This loss marks Houston's third runner-up finish in NCAA championship games, previously falling in 1983 and 1984. Florida's victory also elevated them to the #1 spot in the final Associated Press's Top 25 poll for the 2024-2025 season. On Monday, the American Library Association filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration and DOJ. They are suing over what the ALA called the Trump administration's gutting of the Institute of Museum and Library Services. The lawsuit stems from an executive order from the Trump administration titled, "Continuing the Reduction of the Federal Bureaucracy." This order deems the Institute of Museum and Library Services as unnecessary and is reducing personnel to the minimum required by law. The ALA says the Department of Government Efficiency put most of its staff on leave and canceled grants it provides to libraries and museums. It also says DOJ fired all 23 members of the National Museum and Library Services Board. The ALA's complaint says these actions are unlawful and unconstitutional. They're asking a judge for a preliminary injunction to force the Trump administration to reverse these actions. Up next, the Dodgers visited the White House following their 2024 World Series title.
Plus, Ukraine was hit by Russian missile strikes, injuring at least 6. Stay with us. More on Watching Washington.
Hola from Spain.
G'day, mates.
Buenos dias.
Bonjour.
Hello from South Korea.
I'm studying abroad in Valencia, Spain this semester.
I'm studying abroad in Sydney, Australia.
I'm studying abroad in Madrid, Spain.
Studying at Seoul National University.
At ISAE Supero in Toulouse, France.
And I'm really getting to enjoy meeting all the new people and the culture.
How different it is from Purdue University.
It is an absolutely fantastic experience.
I'm living my best life.
I can't wait to see you guys all overseas soon. A bientôt.
Adios.
Nos vemos de España.
I'm Rachel. I'm 19 years old. I'm a sophomore in computer engineering here at Purdue, and I'm the president of DAO. So DAO stands for Dance All Out, and it's kind of like a community where all dancers of different skill levels and artists have a space to express themselves and be artists and perform. We perform at things like the AAA Night Market and the VA, the Variation Showcase at the end of the semester. We even had our own showcase last year, and that was really exciting. DAO not only offers like weekly classes and performance opportunities, but kind of like a really strong community / family to do it with. When people talk about college, or when you see in like coming of age movies, it's all about like the main character finding like the place where they belong, whether it's in school or like extracurricular or like with their friends or another hobby. But like this could be the place where you find like your coming of age moment, and like it could be the place where you discover like a big part of your life.
The Los Angeles Dodgers capped off their 2024 World Series championship with a visit to the White House on Monday. The teams met with President Donald Trump to celebrate their win. Trump was presented with a Dodgers jersey, and he spent time with superstar Shohei Ohtani in the Oval Office. The White House celebration marks yet another chapter in the Dodgers' storied legacy, a moment of national recognition for a team that continues to make history.
New developments tonight in the FBI's investigation involving a former Indiana University cybersecurity expert. Attorneys for Professor Xiaofeng Wang and his wife, Ni-An Li, confirmed that neither of them have been arrested or charged with any crime. Jason Covert, a lawyer with the Taft law firm, said in a statement that the couple appreciates the support they've received from their colleagues and the academic community. According to Covert, they're cooperating and hope to clear their name soon. Federal agents raided the couple's homes in Bloomington and Carmel last Friday, but details surrounding the investigation remain unclear. Wang spent over 2 decades at IU and is well known for his work in cybersecurity and data privacy. His tenure at the university was recently terminated, a move that's drawn criticism from the Bloomington chapter of the American Association of University Professors.
This weekend saw at least 2 missile strikes in Ukraine from the Russian military. The capital city of Kyiv was one of the cities hit, and citizens sought underground metro stations for cover. The Ukraine State Emergency Service reported 3 injured in the strikes. The city of Mykolaiv was also hit with strikes, and 3 women were reported injured in that attack as well. Rescuers have been busy putting out fires all across the country with the wake of the attack. President Trump has denounced Russia's attacks amid negotiations with both sides that aim to end the war.
So the reason we're not talking about tariffs with Russia is because we're not doing business essentially with Russia because they're in a war. And I'm not happy about what's going on with the bombing, because they're bombing like crazy right now. They're bombing. I don't know what's happening there. That's not a good situation. So we're meeting with Russia. We're meeting with Ukraine. And we're getting sort of close. But I'm not happy with all the bombing that's going on the last week or so. Horrible. It's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing.
While Trump claims that progress is being made in negotiations with Russia and Ukraine, Ukraine have instituted air raid alerts since last Saturday as the war rages on.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine is renewing efforts to limit cell phone use in school, supporting new legislation designed to keep students focused and classrooms safe. The proposed law would ban cell phones during the school day and hold students accountable if they violate the rules.
We're all here today in support of new legislation that is designed to accomplish exactly what I called for in my State of the State address last month, banning cell phones in Ohio in our schools once and for all.
DeWine previously proposed similar cell phone restrictions as part of his executive budget. A separate measure, House Bill 250, requires every school in Ohio to establish a policy on student cell phone use by July 1st.
At least 124 people are dead and hundreds more injured after the roof collapsed at the iconic Jet Set nightclub in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. The disaster struck during a merengue concert early Tuesday morning, about an hour after the concert began. Rescue crews are still searching for the survivors in the rubble. Among the victims, merengue star Ruby Perez, former MLB pitcher Octavio Dotel, and several high-profile figures. Officials say it's too early to determine what caused the collapse, but a full investigation is underway. That's all the time we have today. Thank you for watching.
See you next time on Watching Washington.